What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video and another week of The Bad Batch. I can't believe we're already this far into the series. This episode is called Common Ground, and overall I can already see people talking about this episode being another filler episode, but overall I had a good time watching this episode, as I do with all of the Star Wars animated episodes for the most part. And so yeah, this was another fun adventure, again very similar to a model that we've seen with the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian and now the Bad Batch. You know, we have our main set of characters being sent on a mission to kind of, fix something, or in this case, pay off a debt that they owe to Sid the Trandoshan, who's been sending them on missions over the course of the season. And yeah, overall, this was a pretty straightforward episode. You have the Bad Batch being sent to Raxus, which was kind of a base for the Separatists during the Clone Wars, and they don't really want to go at first, specifically Hunter, but they do have to pay off this debt. Since it is currently under Imperial occupation, they don't necessarily want to take Omega, or at least Hunter doesn't want to take Omega, and so he decides to leave her behind with Sid, which, ends up leaving Omega pretty upset and pretty sad because she wants to be a part of the batch. She is part of the squad. And something I've really enjoyed that I've mentioned in previous episode reviews is that I really enjoy the fact that they haven't really been treating Omega like a kid. In some of these previous episodes, she's been part of the batch, and she's been a part of these really tense moments and helping them through most of these situations. And there's plenty of situations where she's actually helped get them out of the situation altogether. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that Hunter wanted to leave her behind, but at the same time I understood, based on the last couple episodes where she literally was abducted by both Fennec Shand and Cad Bane, which led to us finding out in last week's episode that she's incredibly important, as we found out that she's technically Boba Fett's sister, as another just absolute, perfect copy of Jango Fett, similar to what Boba Fett was. So very curious to see how they kind of play with that in the next couple episodes. I thought they would do more with that in this episode. I know this season has, I think, 12 episodes. Maybe it has more. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, if we only have 2 more episodes after this, definitely hoping that they ramp up the actual narrative around the Batch, Omega, and Crosshair and everything that's happening with the Empire. I'm hoping that there's more than 12 episodes in this season. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the episode. There's some fun action in there. Again, the animation is top notch. I actually saw somebody on Facebook the other day on some comment section under a Bad Batch post saying that they didn't like the animation and that they thought it was ugly and that they didn't really enjoy watching it, but that they were big fans of the Clone Wars animation, which is just kind of hilarious because the Bad Batch animation is exactly the Clone Wars animation. And if you've seen the final season of the Clone Wars that released early last year, then you pretty much know that they're the exact same animation. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to hear that from somebody, but overall, for myself, love seeing the animation in this show. I've just been having a lot of fun seeing these characters in this animation that's just, takes what the Clone Wars does and just kind of amplifies it, and it's just so clear and just kind of fun to watch. Very colorful and vibrant, and the smooth kind of nature to the animation now is just awesome. It's just crazy to see how far we've come. But yeah, overall, the Bad Batch ends up going and doing this mission. They're kind of reluctant to at first because this is again like kind of a home base for the Separatists during the Clone Wars, and we get to see that the Bad Batch are kind of in a place where they don't really know what to do. The Republic isn't what it once was. Sure, the Republic is kind of forming into the rebellion, that we know that as an audience right now, but at this point the Batch doesn't really know what to do, and they're out there working these odd jobs for somebody like Sid. While that's all happening, we see while Omega's left behind with Sid, as she's just bummed, and she ends up kind of connecting with Sid over the course of the episode, and Sid ends up realizing that she's actually really good at holo chest, and ends up using that to her advantage, and has Omega kind of playing for money. So when the Batch returns back to Sid to get the reward for the job, yeah, they end up seeing that Omega has a bunch of people around, a crowd of people that have been trying to defeat her at holochess, and they end up finding out that Omega has now paid off their debt to Sid because of her holochess skills. And the episode ends with kind of a nice moment between Hunter and Omega, because you have Wrecker, who's pretty happy to see that Omega's out there doing her thing, but Hunter's kind of upset because it's kind of drawn attention to her. Obviously he cares so much for her, but during the mission Hunter literally had a moment where he tells Tech to do something, and he says to go do it with Omega, and he's like, well, that's not really possible because Omega's not here. So he kind of forgot that he chose to leave her behind, because he has treated her as part of the squad. So at the very end, when he sees her playing holochess against people for money, and he finds out that she actually paid off their debt through her skills, he goes, listen, how about we play a game of Hollow Chest, and if you win, I'll never leave you behind on another mission. And they end up ending the episode right there as they're about to start playing their game. And overall, I've really enjoyed that father-daughter kind of relationship that's been built with Hunter and Omega. I wish Omega had a little bit more of a deeper connection with other members in the batch. The only other one that she has that deeper connection with is Wrecker, and it's like a big brother relationship. So I'm really enjoying that relationship. I'm enjoying kind of the father-daughter relationship between her and Hunter. When it comes to Tech and Echo, there isn't as much of an emotional connection between Omega and them. So I kind of hope that they start to build on that a little bit more. Of course, we know that they care for her and they enjoy her presence, but they don't really give them much time to be fleshed out overall. I think overall, when I look at this series so far, I feel like Tech and Echo have not had a whole lot of fleshing out. Even though, we've known Echo from the Clone Wars, I feel like they could flesh them out a little bit more. And a character like Crosshair that, obviously has a very complicated story in this show, hasn't had enough time, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that we move away from these mission-based episodes where they're sent to do something for money or for information, and that, in the next couple episodes we can just get, right to the nitty-gritty as we have with the last 2 episodes before this. So yeah, guys, definitely curious to hear what you guys have to say about this series so far and this episode, Common Ground. So let me know what you guys thought about it. Who's your favorite character on the Bad Batch? How are you guys feeling about Omega? How have you guys felt about having a week of the knowledge that Omega is essentially another Boba Fett? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Please leave any and all of those comments down below in the description box or in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.